p.m. Resolution number 1.
26, 192.
I'm sorry? This,
That you do when
Later.
Mike starts his.
okay.
So just start with yours,
25,
minutes from
26.
last council meeting,
Minutes?
adopting the minutes, the resolution for adopting. the
Yeah,
minutes.
there's nothing to talk about there, right?
I don't have that covered. Oh, here it is. Okay. This is Mike's, here's mine. So we called it to order and we're reviewing the agenda of items. That's the next item here. So that's it. The resolution. Confusing me.
No, you're doing good.
Okay, 2526-192. Resolution of adopting minutes from the last common council meeting.
All right.
Any questions?
Nope.
Okay. Resolution 2526-193. Resolution adopting minutes from public hearing and special common council meeting. The minutes of the public hearing and common council meeting of May 12, 2026 are hereby adopted. Resolution 2526-194. Resolution establishing June as Public Safety Heroes Month in the city of Amsterdam. Sponsored by Alderman Collins and Alderman Holliday. Alderman Holliday, would you like to speak about this?
Sure, of course. This is the second year that we're going to be doing this, and hopefully it's the second year of many to come. We are going to get some flags for you gentlemen over there, so hopefully we can fly them over at the stations. And I would like to speak with the council at some point about doing something special for them, whether it's a small get-together or something like that. Maybe we can have Ashley come and do a little story about it. But as far as I'm concerned, that's it. But all in all, it's just a way to thank the first responders, police officers, firefighters in our city. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 2526-195, the resolution 2025-26 budget transfer for callable bond interest. Louise, would you like to speak on this?
We had borrowed money for our LED streetlight project, and we received a reimbursement from the state a little quicker than we were expecting. So we want to call in the band, pay down the portion that we received, this was a budgeted payment. It's going to be a budgeted payment in the next year's budget of over 100,000. So by doing this now, we can reduce the interest in next year's budget to about 52,000. Or excuse me, we can eliminate it 52,000 from next year's budget, and we're going to pay it in the current year. Okay, and that will save us an additional 52,000. I'm sorry, did not explain that very smoothly, but it's a good thing.
Any questions? Kelly.
But you did say that we got the 1.1 million faster than we expected. I don't believe that.
Yeah, we did.
That's
No,
cool.
I'm saying we've waited for 1.1 million for a long time.
Yes, it's shockingly fast, compared to the other grants.
Okay.
All right, I'm fine with that.
Resolution 2526-196, resolution in support of New York State Assembly Bill number A11247 relating to the establishment of school speed zone camera demonstration program in the city of Amsterdam. Chief, would you like to speak about these cameras?
Yeah, I believe this, having read it, this is just our continuing support for that home rule request that was made prior. It's in the hands of the state legislature now, and this is one of the steps that we need to take for them to consider that bill, to continue considering it.
Right, it's been introduced in both houses now, and
We have a bill number.
each house wants a resolution from the city supporting the bill expressly, citing the bill number, et cetera. So this is just consistent with prior legislation that we passed. regarding speed zone camera demonstration.
These are being specifically requested by our state senator and our state assemblyman. So we have to pass these in order to move that process forward, and that's what we're doing tonight.
Okay. Resolution 2526-197, resolution in support of the New York State Senate Bill number S10196 relating to the establishment of the school
It's-
speed zone camera demonstration program in the city of
It's just
Amsterdam.
the Senate version of the previous one, which is the assembly.
Okay.
Resolution 2526-198, resolution authorizing sale of 241 East Main Street upon acquisition to Southern Tier Environments for Living Inc. Alderman Marcel.
Okay, the current owner of 241 East Main Street, okay, is failed to pay their taxes. So we are going to foreclose and take over the property. And in doing so, there's a project that's in the workings, and I'll let the mayor talk about that. I'll let him, it's his,
We have a developer who is very interested in building a project very similar to DePaul, which has been a big success on East Main Street, and it happens to be we're building this project right next to DePaul. And they are putting together a package. They are approaching the owners of all these properties. They want to secure the properties necessary to submit an application for this project to the state. This is one of the properties that they need to acquire.
it's located between Borey Street and John Street. And it's the big where the Spanish food store is, the big red brick building where the Blaze Inn used to be located, where Severa Drug used to be located. And it's really, it's in deplorable condition, to say the least, okay? Except for the Spanish grocery store, the rest of the place is terrible. But he's gonna take those buildings, we're gonna take them over, but hopefully we'll have another project like the Veteranburg Apartment, increase the area and the aesthetics in the East End.
Is the
Yeah,
grocery store
beautiful.
part of that building?
No, the grocery store is a
A
separate
separate
building.
building?
But one of the interesting, very attractive things of this is that this developer has approached the grocery store
Right.
to include him inside the project, so that he would be able to run a bodega as part of the project, and it's very, very exciting
That
for
would
him.
make sense.
Yeah.
How
So-
do we circumvent, are we circumventing the having to go to auction rules, or is this going to the land bank? Like, how are we able to sell this directly after foreclosing?
Well, Tony, you want to speak to that?
Well, first, we're contemplating a 19A or 19B proceeding because it's going to be faster than the foreclosure process. And there's nothing prohibiting, nothing under the law that prohibits a direct sale like this. This is most similar, it's not apples to apples, but with respect to the Lower Mill Complex parcel, we last year passed a resolution signing the right to foreclose on that deal. So it was structured a little bit differently, but it's the same type of thing. Same concept with some variation.
This is the only building in the plan for which there is no owner willing to sell it. Everything else is in good standing, taxes are paid, they've approached them, they're interested in the project, they're interested in selling the property. So this is the one piece where we would have to take an action to secure ownership of the property. And it's in foreclosure. I mean, it's not like it's anybody wants it. So it's a great, I mean, it was a very, everybody knows DePaul, everybody knows the types of services. It's the support services that DePaul offers for tenants of that building. This is almost an exact replica of it. This is, it would be a really, really great thing for that block of the East End, which is probably,
The chief will tell you how many times he's been in that building for code enforcement.
yeah, no, it's a really exciting thing. So this is something they need to move forward with that project. So I wholeheartedly recommend that you endorse it or vote to approve it.
Oh, is it 5:40? It's 5:40, we have a
Public hearing.
Good call.
So public hearing, which is ordinance D of 2026, to be known as ordinance number 4 of 2026, is adopted. An ordinance modifying section 73-4A9 of the Amsterdam City Code so as to prohibit dogs in certain areas of public and recreational areas.
I'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone from the public who would like to speak on this?
Can you tell us a little bit? Oh, can you tell us what exactly all this means?
I could do it if it's okay, because I'm
What-
sponsoring.
what
If
you
it-
talking
if it's,
about?
oh, Tony, what do you think?
Go ahead.
Okay, so essentially, it's just gonna prohibit dogs from going on to leashed or not, onto athletic fields within the city limits. So just to be completely clear, there's still a great amount of space for dogs to take walks and run and play. We are a pro-dog city, but we just want to mitigate any potential hygienic issues that we could run into with our youth athletes playing on sports fields that might run into some, let's say, unwanted business left behind by dogs on the fields.
Yeah, I thought that was a good idea, but I thought you brought that up at the last.
We did, but now is the to be adopted today.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's kind of like everyone has a chance if they wanted to speak.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good job, Rich.
Is there
Thanks,
anyone
Brian.
else who would like to speak on that topic? Okay, then we're gonna close the public hearing. Thank you.
Cool.
Okay. Resolution 2526-199, resolution transferring funds for DPW garage capital project. Alderman Marticello.
Okay, it's we're exploring options to replace the old bus garage down there. And then we have an expense of $9,334. So what we're gonna do is we're just going to keep all expenses associated with DPW garage, and we're just gonna take the money for the contingency fund and offset this.
Resolution 2526-200, resolution declaring a seeker negative declaration and approving the City of Amsterdam 2026 Comprehensive Plan update. Mayor, would you like to comment?
Oh, well, we have Dan Gray here.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
I can see you.
So this is our comprehensive plan. We've gone through the public process and we're ready to declare a negative declaration and pass the resolution to support it.
Any questions? Thank you, Dan.
We talked about the comp plan. Any other questions? Okay,
Thank you.
thanks, Dan.
Resolution 2526-201, resolution authorizing purchase of record management software and hardware. Okay.
This will be for Chief Spencer to address.
Yeah, our records management system at the PD is outdated. It's 27 years old. So to buy a new modern one is expensive and there's an ongoing cost for that software now. Everything is cloud-based. And along with that, we need new computers in the patrol cars to run the new software. So this will be new hardware for the patrol cars to make them internet enabled. They can run the software, and then this will also cover the build of the software in the first year of the subscription cost.
This is money that is from federal seizure money.
Correct.
It's
That's
pretty
what the
awesome.
CM one
Yeah.
is?
Yes.
Okay, that was my question.
Sweet.
Could you explain, Chief, a little bit about the records management process in terms of what site, what sort of records and stuff?
So every call that comes into the station gets billed a number, it's a call for service. Any interaction we have with a person, a vehicle, a place, it's how we build our investigative bank of information. When you quote, run someone through the system, that's what the records management system is. So our local records of every police dealing we've had, currently our records go back to 1999 with our current impact system. So Impact is, the company has been bought out many times over. They don't make their software anymore. So we're moving on with a new one with a Code Pathfinder.
Cool.
And could you just give an example of a productivity improvement that would result?
You'll have the officers, now they'll be able to do their reports from the car. They won't have to return to the station to type anything. And also, while they're in a report, like say they take a larceny complaint from a certain store, they'll be able to look at the history of that store, history of a person, so they develop a suspect right from their vehicle. They'll have all that information right there. So it's gonna cut down on a lot of time that they have to come back to headquarters to do an investigation or to type in information. And also it'll be in real time. So as the desk officer or the dispatcher is getting information from the caller, as they're putting it into the case, it's gonna pop up on the screen for the officer right there in real time. Both of them can work on it on the same time, which is something we currently can't do.
We have to do our next public
Supervisors.
hearing.
I don't have to,
Chief, I hate to interrupt you, but we're just gonna do our public.
so it'd be a lot quicker, basically, long story short, a lot quicker.
Okay. Public hearing for local law A of 2026 to be known as local law 1 of 2026 if adopted. A local law extending a temporary moratorium on the submission and processing of building permits, certificates of occupancy, certificates of use, and land use approval for the industrial solar and battery storage systems in the city of Amsterdam.
Okay, we declare that meeting open. Is there anyone here who'd like to address that? Please come to the podium, state your name and address, and 5 minutes.
Good evening, John Hearn from the law firm of Couch White, here on behalf of Amoresco. I submitted a letter to the council last week, so I'm not gonna get into all the nitty-gritty details of the letter, but just some of the high topic items. Although I haven't seen it, it's my understanding what the council is prepared to do is to consider adoption of a moratorium that they enacted back in December of 25, further extending that another 6 months. So it's, again, I haven't seen this version, but I believe it's also going to include solar and not just battery storage. It's my understanding, watching the council's videos and reviewing minutes, that the council did not have any concerns with solar in the city. The concerns were with batteries and the new technology and better understanding that and providing a framework to better govern. It's also my understanding that the council in the city hasn't taken any action with respect to a new zoning or forming any committees with respect to the moratorium. So in my interpretation of the law, solar should not be considered part of this moratorium because the council does not have a concern with solar. They do not see an emergency or something that needs to be addressed. They do not plan on updating the zoning for solar. So we don't believe that solar facilities should be included into the moratorium process. Other than that, I'll save everyone some time. My letter is a little more detailed, but I thank you for the time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to speak?
Go.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Attorney Casal, members of the Common Council. My name is Arlene Bronski. I'm here with my husband, Janusz Bronski, with an address of 11 Van de Veer Street, Amsterdam. I'm here to ask that you separate solar from battery storage. The two are completely different. Solar is clean energy. We are working with Amoresco to establish a solar array on Queen Anne Road and would appreciate a moratorium be released and permitting be allowed for a solar array, which again is clean energy. I appreciate your consideration. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Hello, Mayor, may it please the council. My name is Joe Stephen Graves. I work with Carson Power. Not here for solar, but I'm specifically here for battery storage. So we are developing a 12.5 megawatt project on Edson Street with the fourth ward. We and my predecessor, Sean, I believe, have reached out to a number of folks, and Sean has a certain way, and I apologize if he was a little persistent. But what I wanted to come here and say is the moratorium, it's clear from watching the videos, the council is not, at least for the battery storage, in a position to pass any type of law. There's not enough information here. Typically with battery storage, it's a fear from the constituents. That's really causing, whether it's moratoriums, bans, what have you. I respect the fear, understanding. And I think education is the thing that breaks through. So while my predecessor did try to reach out to a couple members here and educate, I wanted to come here and do it personally in front of the whole council. So if you'll give me a few seconds here. There's fear of the facts. Fear, we're gonna hear a lot. There's fires. These things catch on fire, they're not safe. Facts, there's been 3 high-profile fires in New York and they're not good. What came out of those was a standing working group. The 2025 battery code in the fire code is now the most strenuous in the country. And what it specifically does, that wasn't here before, is rigorous testing on the materials manufacturers going in. But more importantly, for our first responders, 15 minutes, someone's gonna be on the phone with them if there's an incident, 4 hours, and much usually shorter than that, they're gonna be on site, and yearly training to our first responders on the dime of the owner operator. Contamination. You know, I live 10 feet away, I live 100 feet away. No matter what that distance is, there's fear of contamination in the air, in the soil, and the water. Now, Warwick, New York, you know, we never want to see an incident, but the great thing that came out of that was testing that's publicly available on their site, saying if you are within 10 feet of that system, which in Warwick was a smoldering trash can, didn't even send fire apparatus out. But if you're within 10 feet, there is no hazardous level in the air of anything you're breathing in. And specifically, nothing's been tested in the ground or soil that is above standard levels. And in this project specifically, we'd be 700 feet from the local residents in the industrial area. You know, renewables, you know, they get caught up in the political zeitgeist. And I think it was mentioned here. The one difference with storage, we're agnostic. Whether it's nuclear, coal, solar, we're just taking energy from the grid. And it's gonna be local. It's getting pumped back into the local substations and not going to New York. Services. It's gonna be a drain on our services. No water going, no electricity beyond what's getting pumped out. Fire and EMS minimal. And specifically, the benefits that come for the lack of services that are needed, immediate increase to your tax base. And for a project our size, a host community benefit agreement, upwards of $1 million. To revitalize a vacant and underutilized parcel, not utilizing more than an acre of land. So I urge the council to extend the moratorium on BESS. Like, please. But not just for the sake of extending it, educate. Because I believe, you know, we've offered to the chief, I think earlier today, we sent an email out. We're happy to do fire and EMS training. We're happy to have a community meeting in the 4th Ward. We're happy to talk more with the council. I think council here actually, Mr. Casal, offered to push this to a committee. Well, section 15 2-year code has standing committees just for this. We're happy to do a presentation. And at the end of the day, the benefits don't outweigh the cost, so be it. But I just want to open it up for a resource from Carson Power and anyone in our network that can be utilized to bring some education. Talk both about the benefits and the risks. So I thank you for your time, and I'll be here if anyone would like to talk after the meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? No? Okay, thank you, everybody. Close the public hearing. It is now 5:00. We can continue. Joe, do you have anything more that you wanted to say about records management? I just want to say that, you know, it'll be a tremendous improvement for our police force. The funding of it, of course, coming from the, what do you call them again?
The federal seizure.
The federal seizure funds is another great thing, so, open the council.
We did our budget meeting with Marvin from our IT yesterday, and he talked a lot about the enhancements that are happening in public safety, and it's really great. And I know that he's also said he's been acting as your help desk to save money as well. So we've got a very comprehensive technology plan. So spending like $200,000 is a ton of money, but like I know that it's being utilized in the best possible way because like Marvin is top notch. So
Thank you. I agree 100%.
We have one more public hearing.
Okay.
Let me continue. Let me continue with the resolution. 2526.
We gotta start the other public.
We have the
I'm
public
sorry.
hearing right now.
We won't have time to discuss it.
Okay.
You ready?
5:55.
10 seconds.
This is a public
we can
hearing for
extend the
the,
count.
for the adoption of the updated, City of Amsterdam Comprehensive Plan.
Is there, I'm gonna call that a public hearing to order. Is there anyone who would like to speak on the comprehensive plan?
Are you talking about the budget?
No.
Sir.
All right.
We're talking about the comprehensive plan for the city of Amsterdam, which has not been done since 2003. We're replacing it with a new plan.
We had the budget hearing last week,
Budget hearing was last week.
but we haven't passed it yet. That's we're still working on.
You could come tomorrow at 4:30 if you want, though.
Dan,
We're gonna be
Dan spoke
talking
on-
more.
Is there anyone who was here to speak on the comp plan?
No.
Okay, then we'll call that hearing to a close.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
And we can continue the cow until it's over.
2526-202, resolution transferring funds for the corrosion control engineering expenses. Alderman Carpenter.
There was a receipt that wasn't paid for the 2024-25 corrosion control project. We need to make a water fund contingency transfer of $2,048. Interfund transfer capital fund, same amount, $2,048. And then we need to increase the expense for the corrosion control expenditure, same amount. And the interfund transfer water fund, but why is that $20.58?
That might be a typo.
It's probably a typo,
Can we make an amendment to
Do we
change
need
that?
to?
not an amendment.
We don't need to.
Okay.
Resolution 2526-203, resolution transferring funds, water plant, HVAC costs. Alderman Carpenter.
The water treatment plant has a majority of the HVAC repaired or replaced within the past 12 months. The cost expanded all plant service contractual line. For its anticipated cost of $87,000, we need to decrease the contingency fund by $87,000 and increase the plant service and contractual line by $87,000.
Is that all done now, Michael?
It's down to the wire.
Okay.
Okay. Resolution 2526-204, resolution approving the audit. The audit is fine.
Okay.
So all the resolutions I have.
That's it. And it is close to 7 time.
Did we talk about
Good job.
ordinance F?
Brendan,
You sure?
Did we talk about ordinance F introduction? I apologize, I was late.
I don't think so.
I don't think we did.
no, we didn't.
All right, yeah, if
You have an
you keep going past the ordinances that we're voting on, the local laws.
Ordinance F,
Yep. An ordinance modifying chapter 250 of the Amsterdam City Code for myself and Alderwoman Collins.
okay.
Do you want to talk on this? Do you want me to talk?
No, you can speak.
So this has to do with signs within the city limits of Amsterdam, all sorts of signs, mostly the temporary signs in the city of Amsterdam, regardless of the topic. And as we've come across in the last couple of years, as signs have become more prevalent and more of a topic, we've seen where our code has been lacking and where it has some inconsistencies. So we put together a little group with Chief Agresta, Attorney Casali, and looked at the code and we're making some modifications that include that bring everything under the same umbrella. So one issue was that there were different rules for different types of signs. And we found, Attorney Casali found that is a First Amendment violation. We can't say like, oh, political signs can do this, but nonprofit signs can do that, but your kid graduating from high school is something different. Like, so it's all the same. So that's a main piece. And also, as you notice, driving around town, signs on telephone poles. We had signs attached to stop signs last fall, like zip tied to them. And then down in my neighborhood, the Rockton Y, there's that fence that had just signs everywhere littered, most of them obsolete. So the chiefs went out and took them all down and returned the ones to the owners that they needed to. And I think we've seen a lot less clutter and a lot less mess. So that is the goal. And so pretty much, to sum it all up, signs can be on private property, 10 feet back from the roads, kind of out of the line of sight for the drivers where it might block view. And so if we do that consistently and we give everyone the same rules, we think we'll keep the city clear and clutter-free. All those triangles and like spots, like the bottom of Northampton, over by Locust, they've all been clear signs and it's been really good for visibility. So that's what we're putting out there today. I don't know if Chief wants to jump in or Attorney Sally has anything.
I have a question more
Can we
for,
call the meeting to order?
what about the signs that,
No, I think we need to
Let's call the meeting to order and then.
oh, sure.
Can we keep
No, I
talking
think we
about
have
this?
to do that,
Right
right?
now, we have to call the
You
meeting.
finish the cow before you call.
Yeah, we don't
Okay.
need to call the meeting.
I just had a question because I have seen like flags that have a lot of profanity on them, like, you know, somebody.
Yeah,
And how is that gonna work on private property? Because they're, I don't wanna say anything.
So what's obscene to you is not necessarily obscene to your neighbor. And we have First Amendment rules, and I don't disagree with anything that Alderman Christomar said, but just to say the same thing a little bit differently, what this legislation is intended to do is remove all instances of content-based regulations pertaining to signs.
Okay.
We can't regulate based upon the content of the message. We can regulate based upon where it's going to be displayed, sizing, illumination, but not the messaging. We cannot.
Obscenities included. You can say anything you want to say.
Well,
Where
I
does this
mean,
go?
but it's on private property, so you own it. Like, if you wanna
I'm
say
saying, you
something,
can say
I mean,
whatever you
it's in
want
your
on
front
private
yard.
property.
yeah,
You can
Yeah.
say whatever you want about anybody you want to say it about.
well, I don't know. what
Unless
to
it's
say with-
slanderous,
That's
right?
kind of what I'm asking.
In terms of First Amendment rights.
Okay.
Right, they can put up whatever messaging they want. We cannot regulate the content.
Right.
Period. There are some instances that you're getting into hypothetical scenarios where certain signage may be actionable to other people, right?
Yeah.
Now, you're the mayor, so if someone posts a colorful message
Oh,
about
I
you
know
as a
that.
public official,
Yeah, yeah.
there may not be the same consequences to someone that posts a colorful message about their next door neighbor,
Okay.
where it may be actionable, right? But, whether it's actionable or not, that'd be a
Well, I'm
private
just
cause
concerned
of
about
action.
obscenity and
We're talking-
exposure to children. That's the only thing I'm concerned about.
We cannot
I
regulate
have-
based on.
I didn't read this real quickly. Two things. Is there a penalty involved in here, and who's gonna enforce this?
It's enforced by codes.
Correct.
And there are penalties, like the typical ones, but
$250, I think,
Right.
50
Yeah.
days in prison.
He's been in existence
Or
forever.
jail.
There's no change to the penalty structure of the violation.
yeah.
So if you were to call somebody, you call the coast department.
Mhm.
And there's a
Yeah.
penalty that goes along with it.
That's correct.
So there's been no real changes to what the previous one said, other than the consistency. And then it also just, we're enforcing it more.
But there will
than
be
we
no
were in the
signs
past.
posted on public property.
There'll be no signs posted on public property.
Okay.
So the side of the road where they go and put them on the side of the road, like, use
Right,
S Asphalt Company,
yeah,
those are no longer allowed.
those are no longer
Right.
allowed. But you will see them in the town, you will see them perhaps on
You
city
can ask,
property,
you
but
can, if you're that company, go to someone and say, can I put your sign on my
Yeah.
lawn? If they say yes, they're allowed.
So we also have a code that deals with advertising signs, and that's chapter 64 of our city charter, with article 3 specifically is advertising, which is more or less what you're speaking about with the small sign. But even in this, the temporary signs, it does have it while work is being performed, and then it must be removed 15 days after work is completed. It can be posted while business is going on.
Interesting.
You're welcome.
All right, everyone? All right, let's call the meeting to order, please. Let's stand for the pledge.
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alderwoman Krista Mars,
Here.
Alderman Holliday,
Here?
Alderwoman Collins here, Alderman Carpenter.
Here.
Alderman Marticello.
Here,
Can we get a motion to adopt the agenda, please?
Motion to adopt the agenda with 13 resolutions, 1 ordinance to be voted upon, 1 ordinance introduction, and 1 local law to be voted upon. Call the roll.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
aye.
Alderwoman Krista Mars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Okay, I have no proclamations for this evening, communications and presentations. This would be the public participation section of the meeting, where any member of the public can speak for 5 minutes on any topic you choose. If you'd like to speak on a topic, please come to the podium, state your name, address, and you'll have 5 minutes to state.
John R. Chetwood Proba, 18 Austin Street. I think that's a good idea, Kelly, you brought up. A week before Easter, I go to Crossroads and I put a sign up at that island that's a little past Kanowski's, across from Kanowski's. And a week later, it was gone. And I can remember other signs that were there, like Brooks Barbecue, you couldn't even see. And that area, anybody put signs up there and you really can't see, but it was pretty low to the ground, but somebody took it, so, it's one of those things, but there's just too many signs that were in that area. Now, I told you before, I have a solar farm, I believe in that, but all these problems, some of the things that I've been watching, either on other political meetings, New York State Assembly, New York State Senate, or the History Channel or Science Channel, whatever. I think the people ought to be concerned about the battery storage, but I think that's really has to do with the fire department, because a lot of the fire departments weren't happy with the solar panels on people's roofs and made it harder for them to fight a fire. And I think they may have some trouble with this battery storage because of the problems if it catches on fire. You kind of wonder whether or not we really need this in Amsterdam, in our area. As you know, Mayor, a lot of places are fighting for the of having solar farms and wind turbines put up and stuff, taking a lot of the land away, from the farmers and like that. So I think it's something that we should wait and really do our homework on that, and not rush and really get the assistance of the fire department to see whether these things are good or good for the area or not, and like that. Now, I was here early because I thought I was going to really talk about the budget, but I would like to bring up a couple things, I still believe in water meters. I believe later on we're going to have 90-degree weather and people will be watering their lawns at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we can't take water for granted, Mayor. And I think that water meters might be good. As you know, National Grid, when you get the electric or the gas, you can monitor that. I think people waste water because we don't have water meters, so they don't care. And I think that would be a good thing. Earlier, I don't know if anybody here plays golf or anything, but I mean, we bring this up every year. The golf, we seem to be losing money on that. Some people think we should have a right to vote on that, whether we should sell it or not. We've got a situation that only a few people actually golf. I don't know a doggone thing about golf. But I mean, but as a taxpayer, we're footing the bill for that. Maybe an outside, if we sold that, maybe we can get $5 million or so for that. That would actually help the taxpayer overall, and then we could wash our hands of this situation, and then have somebody else come in, because it's a losing situation. It seems to me like this golf here that's brought up every year, and more problems. So, we got to vote today on the school board today. We can't vote on for the city or the county. So, I mean, you say a few things and you people will make the final decisions regardless or so. And that's it like that. I wish we could have more of a say as far as the city's concerned, but that's not the way that it is. So, but we'll have to have some faith. I looked around Friday. I couldn't believe all the people that were going over waiting to get some food I couldn't believe it. I went to the post office Friday, so we know people are hitting the pits over here, and like they have a lot of problems. But it's up to you to try to correct the problems or so. If you keep on taking, we're not gonna have much of a city. All right, thank you very much.
Okay, anyone else in the public, please like to speak? Approach the podium.
My name's Shane Hapes. I live at 287 Mohawk Drive, Fonda, New York. I'm coming to question, there was a cancellation of a softball league this year. I don't know if that's been brought, who's the liaison for recreation?
Me and Kelly.
Do you know anything about this being canceled? Do you know why?
Could you elaborate a little more?
Well, the league was just canceled this year.
The whole
because-
league was canceled.
The league was canceled, yes. There was an email sent, what's the matter with you?
No. No, I'm smiling because I didn't know.
Yeah, no, the
Yeah.
league was canceled, probably 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
For the reason that they're gonna be doing work at the middle school again, where they just did all the 4 diamonds over, how many years ago was that? They redid the 4 diamonds over. Now it's all fenced in. The fields are in great shape, the best shape they've probably ever been in since I played ball. I don't play ball anymore, but I'm here to speak about why this league was canceled. And is there any kind of recreation commission meetings that you have or anything?
We do, yeah.
You do? And this hasn't been discussed?
Not to, like, Kelly, am I wrong when I say no? I mean,
No, our last meeting was mostly on soccer, right?
yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's gonna be something that we'll look into.
But,
Yeah, it's not a
yeah.
discussion time, but we can certainly
Yeah.
look into it.
I just wanted to make
Yeah.
sure you were taken care of, but yeah.
Have you spoken to Rob Spagnola?
No, there was just a cancellation and I'm just wondering what is going on.
Of the entire league.
The reason is
Just wanna be
because,
clear.
yeah, the league was canceled. They play on one field a night. They play at the 4 diamonds, for years. There used to be fields. The softball league was a.
Shane, we don't have a field. We thought we don't have a field. We were told that we could not use the softball fields that we don't own, that are owned by the school district. We are looking for an alternative.
Okay,
We worked on it today. We are trying to find an answer. I am personally very upset that the softball season is being canceled. We're trying to avoid that. We hope that by next week at this time, we have an alternative. That I'm not promising you anything, but we won't stop working until we try to find an alternative. But we have no place to have the league play safely.
okay, I didn't. They played at Techler School when they had the construction.
They did.
What is the problem with Techler? I went up there this morning just to
There's
look.
been a pavilion built in Techler, which includes a shading, it's all based in concrete. It's
Okay.
a beautiful little sitting area that is 225 feet from home plate in left field. Somebody's gonna get killed if we put it there, and we can't tear that pavilion out. Plus Techler is planning on putting a parking lot in, and they're hoping to start this summer.
Okay,
So that's the problem there.
okay, what about the backfield up at the high school?
How
The
about we,
backfield up at the high school is what we're looking at right now.
Okay,
However, there's a project plan for the high school fields. And if that project starts this year, I'm not sure. That's the one thing we'll find out by next Tuesday. We've been told by the high school that there is a backstop there, needs to be cleared out. We need to cut in a field. We have to wait till tomorrow to find out if the referendum to start the process of redoing all the big fields that are,
okay,
they're building a brand new softball complex up
Okay.
there. The vote on that will depend on how we can do with that other property. So I can't answer you now. but-
okay, but so
We're looking
tomorrow
at-
they'll know about what is going
That's
on.
right. Well, we'll know if that project has been approved or failed. And then the superintendent will be asked, can we cut into that field and make it our softball field for the summer? And
Okay,
if we can do that, that's our answer.
okay, there's, up at Curry side also, there are 2 fields up on the side. Now, they have taken the backstops down. Now, probably 10 years ago, Donna Palzak was on the Recreation Commission. And she said that our money would stay in the softball league. She said they weren't gonna take the money like they used to do. You're the controller, right? Do you have a line for softball? Is there any money line of, money
No.
was in somewhere or kept?
I believe so, yes.
You do.
I do believe so, yes.
Do you know how much money would be in that?
We're not,
Q&A.
this is not what,
This is,
not a
yeah,
Q&A
yeah,
time,
yeah.
Shane.
The format is not
If you
Q&A.
want to, Shane, you can come in and
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
anytime.
And we can't.
Set up an
Meeting, but-
appointment.
This, yeah, this sets that precedent. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, very good.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Shane.
Yeah, who do I call? Do I call your
Rob
office?
I would call Rob,
Look,
yeah.
do I call your office to see you? Can I come and
You
see
sure
you?
can, anytime.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thursdays I
Thank
usually
you very
say
much.
public.
Have a good night.
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
All right, anyone else from the public like to speak?
Christian Rivera, Amsterdam, New York. The microphone and camera must be fixed so people can hear the speakers on the recorded version. It's terrible audio and the camera's never focused on the correct people. That issue needs to be fixed. I want to urge people to vote no on School Board Prop 4. There's still time, you can still do it. They're open until 9. Because it is a destruction of forested land, a criminal giveaway, which will destroy the character of the school and ecology of the community. Listen to what I have to say, and if you have not voted, then go out and vote against Prop 4, all the props, and all the incumbent school board members. The main topic I want to talk about today is destruction and loss of forested land and trees in and around the city of Amsterdam. And I'll suggest what we the people should do about it. First, let me give you an overarching fact. According to HUD, there are approximately 18 million empty homes in the USA and about 800,000 homeless people in the US. That means there is 23 times more homes than there are homeless people, 23 times more. Let me state the obvious, we're losing forested land and trees due to 1, the Amsterdam School Board, 2, forest destroyers who call themselves developers and whom never have enough money, 3, individual landowners, and 4, politicians who facilitate the loss of forested lands. It's impossible to ignore the fact that the Amsterdam School Board is the worst offender in forest destruction, that they have given away the vacant school in Sassafras Forest to an LLC for pennies, and now want to do the same forest destruction, criminal destruction giveaway at Curry Elementary School. They're giving away public land for no justifiable reason. This giveaway has been led by school board presidents Kent McHurd, Nellie Bush, member Joe DeTata. These people should be sent packing. Other places in Amsterdam which are seeing forest destruction are on George Street, the mall, 2nd Avenue, and many other places throughout the city. People are just not respecting the trees. We the people have a common interest in opposing this destruction on 2nd Avenue, which has degraded the environment for all of us. The area was frequented by many people. Now it's destroyed, but should be recouped. What we should do is immediately demand a cessation of destruction on 2nd Avenue. We should do it here at this body, at the planning and zoning boards, and online. We should demand a moratorium on new housing development for a year until we, that is the mayor, council, and public, develop regulations which protect forested land and trees and stop any subdivisions of land which seek to skirt new planning and zoning ordinances. The city charter lacks any of these or other provisions relating to protection or promotion of trees or forested lands. I saw none. I see none. There is none. Let me give the mayor and council a warning. Let me give you a warning. When the people see the forests and trees being chopped down, so destruction profiteers can make more money, even though there's all kinds of empty lots, and we see you showing up in safety helmet and shovel photo ops, it becomes clearer than ever that you are promoting the destruction in the case of the mayor, or sitting by and do nothing and being rubber stamped in the case of the council. We know that opportunists like Angelo Santa Barbara, who use city schools to promote war to elementary school children so he can get reelected, and the destruction profiteers only see this city as a photo op, a moneymaker, and think that their collective photo will somehow intimidate or fool us. We know that these destruction photo ops are almost all invariably against our interests and welfare, but for the already wealthy's pockets. This forest destruction is an issue which can and should, unless you reverse course, lead to your dismissal, whether mayor, council, local, state, or federal politicians.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public like to speak? Okay, then we can move on with the agenda. Thank you, everyone. We're gonna start with the clerk's report.
We got that. So last year, 2025, for our birth certificates, we did 209. This year we did 129, which was 80 less. And the same thing with marriages. We did 20, in 2025, we did 30. This year we did 6, which is 24 less. But that had to do with, because of the new ID, last year was the deadline. So we had a ton of people coming in for marriage license and birth certificates last year just for that. So that's where the discrepancy is. Death certificates, we did 95 last year and 182 this year, which is 87 more. Dog licenses, we did 48 last year and 47 this year, which was 1 less. And foils, we did 68, which were 10 were accident, 3 were miscellaneous, 25 were police incidents, and 30 were property inquiries. For our handicap placards, we did 44 for the month, which was 37 permanent and 7 were temporary. And we did 22 notaries. And we went live with our next request last week, and we've received nothing but positive feedback from that thus far.
Any questions from clerk's report? Good job. Thank you very much. Next, please, controller's report.
I realize we have a very full agenda, so I can be very quick. I've distributed my 10-month budget summary for your review. Absolutely nothing unusual going on. I included the current contingency balances, and because there is an ongoing need to make the fund balance information available, I added it to the bottom of the report, as Jim has already noted. So hopefully that is helpful having it.
Thank you very
there.
much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Any questions?
It's great, thank you.
Let me just say this, man. Everything looks positive. Every balance, every fund balance in here, we're in the positive. Which is, with 1 month left in this budget year. Thank you.
2 months.
very much. 2 months
Yeah,
left in budget year as of April 26th, April 30th. Looks good.
Louise, may I ask a question too? Golf fund difference I see is 153,000, so we're up in the golf fund. Am I correct?
Well, I mean, it's a very fluid
Sure.
time of year, obviously, right now. So, yeah, as of right now, it does look positive,
So-
but there are a lot of expenditures, that certainly, that you'll be seeing.
Sure, okay.
And hopefully the revenue continues.
Continues
on
to
the
go
track
up,
that's
yeah.
been going up, and hopefully that continues.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the controller? Okay, thank you, Louise.
Very good.
We will move on to our engineering report. Mike Clark.
Thank you, Mayor. Still waiting on the start of the 2026 paving program. I expect that very shortly. I will point out that without the state budget being finalized, we are still in limbo with respect to our CHIPS allocation for this year. We do have the rollover, so we can begin and do some of that work. If there's more of a delay on the budget being in place, we won't see our final commitment letter until probably a couple of weeks after the state budget has been passed. But we can begin before that because of the rollover, if anyone wondered. Wastewater plant I want to point out again, is running remarkably well. Our new chief operator has made some operational changes to the way aeration basins are fed, and our removal is the best it's been in many, many decades, well below our permit requirements, which is a good thing. My office preparing bid documents for up to 20 lead service line replacements funded through the CDBG. If you recall, those are not just open to anyone, they had to be income qualified. Our Economic Development Office has done that, and they've given me the list, so I'm working on that now. I expect to have it out quickly. Crescent Ave Bridge, the concrete deck has been poured, it's curing. Again, the target date to open that bridge is currently still June 18th. Filter work continues at the plant. I expect that to be done, it's gonna be it'll be the end of summer by the time it's all wrapped up. And lastly, we continue negotiations and discussions with the town of Amsterdam, updating our sewer intermunicipal agreement. And I'll say that I think we've made some progress. I'll take any questions.
Question for the engineer? I do want to say we also started our vegetation program. Anthony, do you have any, chief, do you have any, I think we had 40 properties done on Monday, beginning the vegetation program.
Yeah, I don't have any update on the numbers for you. I know we are in, just starting out stage.
Yeah, so we should be seeing some of these vacant properties looking much better in the next few days. Got 40 done in a day. So that brings us to any old business, which I don't believe we have, so we're on to new business and the resolutions, Jim.
Resolution 2526-192, resolution adopting minutes from last common council meeting by Alderwoman Collins.
So moved. Any questions? Call the roll.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter. Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Christomars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Resolution 2526-193, resolution adopting minutes from public hearing and special common council meeting by Alderwoman Collins.
So moved. Call the roll.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Christomars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Resolution 2526-194, resolution establishing June as Public Safety Heroes Month in the city of Amsterdam by Alderwoman Collins and Alderman Holliday. Whereas the city of Amsterdam is committed to fostering a safe, thriving community for all residents, businesses, and visitors. And whereas firefighters, first responders, and police officers serve as the backbone of public safety in Amsterdam, responding to emergencies, preventing crime, and providing life-saving assistance with unmatched professionalism and bravery. And whereas these public safety heroes make significant sacrifices, often placing themselves in harm's way to protect the lives and property of Amsterdam's citizens, and whereas their contributions enhance community trust, promote civic pride, and uphold the values of service, integrity, and unity that define the city of Amsterdam. And whereas June, with its patriotic significance, including the observation of Flag Day on June 14th, serves as an ideal time to celebrate the dedication of Amsterdam's public safety professionals. And whereas recognizing June as Public Safety Heroes Month in perpetuity will encourage ongoing citywide appreciation through events, educational initiatives, and partnerships with local public safety organizations. And whereas the Common Council of the City of Amsterdam seeks to honor these heroes with a permanent designation that reflects our enduring gratitude and commitment to supporting their vital work. Now, therefore, be resolved by the Common Council of the City of Amsterdam as follows. The month of June is hereby designated from this day forward in perpetuity as Public Safety Heroes Month in the City of Amsterdam to honor the contributions of firefighters, first responders, and police officers. The Common Council encourages Amsterdam residents, businesses, schools, and community organizations to participate in annual activities that express gratitude for our public safety heroes, including but not limited to appreciation events, volunteer opportunities, and public safety education programs. The City of Amsterdam commits to supporting initiatives that enhance the resources, training, and well-being of our firefighters, first responders, and police officers during Public Safety Heroes Month and throughout the year. The mayor is authorized to issue an annual proclamation recognizing June as Public Safety Heroes Month to be celebrated with opportunity or appropriate ceremonies and activities. This resolution shall take effect immediately upon the adoption and shall remain in effect unless amended or repealed by the Common Council.
So moved. Made you work for that one.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Questions, comments? Thank you so much, by the way. I thought that was important to read it
Yes,
all. I
absolutely.
usually don't make you do that. We'll call the roll, please.
Okay, Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
And Alderwoman Chris Demars.
Okay, before you go on, thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes.
Resolution 2526-195, Resolution 2025-2026 budget transfer, callable ban interest by Alderwoman Collins.
So you could do the now therefore.
Now therefore be it resolved that the controller is authorized to amend the 2025-26 fiscal year budget as follows. Increase revenue interest earnings by $52,853.62 and increase expense ban interest by $52,853.62.
So moved. Any questions? Call the roll.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quist Demars.
Aye.
Resolution 2526-196, resolution in support of New York State Assembly Bill Number A11247 relating to the establishment of school speed zone camera demonstration program in the city of Amsterdam by Alderwoman Collins.
Well, I'll go down to the last whereas and the resolve.
Whereas it is the intention of the instant resolution to support New York State Assembly Bill A11247, be it hereby resolved, the Common Council of the City of Amsterdam supports the ratification of Bill A11247 by the New York State Assembly.
So moved. Any questions?
Chief, it takes about a year, once it's introduced to the assembly, before you get it there?
No, I believe it, then it waits for the signature of the governor,
Governor,
and then,
once it's
yeah, we're in that
approved,
year right now, we're in
We're in it
already.
already, yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Call the roll.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quist Demars.
Aye.
And Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Resolution 2526-197, resolution in support of New York State Senate Bill Number S10196 relating to the establishment of school speed zone camera demonstration program in the city of Amsterdam by Alderwoman Collins.
Okay, same thing.
Whereas it is the intention of the instant resolution to support New York State Senate Bill S10196, be it hereby resolved, the Common Council of the City of Amsterdam supports the ratification of Bill S10196 by the New York State Senate.
So moved. Any questions? Call the roll.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quist Demars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Resolution 2526-198, resolution authorizing sale of 241 East Main Street upon acquisition to Southern Tier Environments for Living Inc. by Alderman Marticello.
So moved. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderman Quist Demars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Resolution 2526-199, resolution transferring funds for DPW Garage Capital Project by Alderman Marticello. Whereas the city is currently exploring options to replace the existing DPW garage, whereas the city incurred an expense of $9,334.50 from Ambient Environmental to conduct a hazardous material survey, which is necessary part of the planning process. Whereas the city desires to keep all expenses associated with the DPW garage project in the capital fund.
So moved. Is there any discussion? Thank you very much. Call the roll.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quist Demars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Resolution 2526-200, resolution declaring seeker negative declaration and approving the City of Amsterdam 2026 Comprehensive Plan update by Alderwoman Collins.
The, second, the last two whereas, and
Last
then the now therefore.
Okay. Whereas a public hearing was held on May 19th, 2026 at 5:55 PM at City Hall, during which all interested residents, agencies, and stakeholders were given an opportunity to be heard. And whereas the Common Council, acting as lead agency, has carefully considered the draft plan that FEAF, all criteria set forth in 6 NYCRR 617.7, and public comments received during the hearing. Now, therefore, it be resolved by the Common Council of the City of Amsterdam as follows. Secret determination of significance based on a thorough review of the full environmental assessment form, the Common Council hereby determines that the adoption of the 2026 Comprehensive Plan update will not result in any significant adverse environmental impacts. The Common Council hereby issues a secret negative declaration and directs that a notice of negative declaration be filed and published in accordance with 6 NYCRR Part 617. Adoption of the comprehensive plan. Following the close of the public hearing and the issuance of the negative declaration, the Common Council hereby approves and formally adopts the City of Amsterdam 2026 Comprehensive Plan update as the official long-range planning document for the city. Filing and distribution. The city clerk is hereby authorized and directed to file a copy of the adopted comprehensive plan and the seeker negative declaration with the Montgomery County Planning Department, the New York State Department of State, and make all documents available for public review on the official city website and at City Hall. Effective date, this resolution shall take effect immediately upon passage.
So moved. Call the roll.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Resolution 2526-201, resolution authorizing purchase of record management software and hardware by Alderwoman Collins.
Okay, the second whereas and the resolve.
Okay. Whereas the city would like to purchase the new computer software and hardware with federal seized money that was received in prior years, use of these funds requires Common Council approval. Resolved, the controller is authorized to fund this purchase in the amount of $193,763.95 to be paid out of the CM.3120.2000.
So moved. Any questions? Call the roll.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Resolution 2526-202, resolution transferring funds from corrosion control engineering expenses by Alderman Carpenter. Whereas the city closed out the,
Skip down to the fourth whereas and the now therefore be it resolved.
whereas funds must be transferred from the water fund to the capital project fund so that these invoices can be paid. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the controller is authorized to transfer funds from the 25-26 fiscal year budget as follows. Decrease expense water fund contingency by 2,048, increase revenue interfund transfer capital fund by 2,048, and increase expense corrosion control expenditure 2,048, and interfund transfer water fund. It says
It's
2,058.
2,048.
Thank you.
So moved. Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Resolution 2526-203, resolution transferring funds water plant HVAC costs by Alderman Carpenter.
Skip down to the now therefore be it resolved.
Now therefore be it resolved, the controller is authorized to amend the 2025-2026 budget as follows. Decrease expense contingency fund 87,000, Increase expense, plant services contractual, $87,000.
So moved. Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Alderman Carpenter,
Aye.
Alderman Marticello,
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars,
Aye.
Alderman Holliday,
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Resolution 2526-204, resolution approving all audit by Alderwoman Collins.
So moved. Call the roll.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Ordinance D of 2026 to be known as ordinance number 4 of 2026 if adopted. An ordinance modifying section 73-4A9 of the Amsterdam City Code so as to prohibit dogs in certain areas of public parks and recreational areas by Alderman Holliday.
So moved. Any questions? Call the roll.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Local Law A of 2025 to be known as Local Law 1 of 2026 if adopted. A local law extending a temporary moratorium on the submission and processing of building permits, certificates of occupancy, certificates of use and land use approvals for industrial, solar, and battery energy storage systems in the city of Amsterdam by Alderman Carpenter.
So moved. Call the roll, please.
Can we have discussion for a second? So last time we passed this, we were told that we were, it would be all worked out within 3 months, and it wasn't. So I would be happy to start up a group to look into this. I think, we shouldn't keep extending this every 6 months. We do need to do that. I think we should pull in people like Jake Reed, who started that environmental group for the city, and some other local stakeholders as well as engineering and codes and everything. So I'd be happy to work on that if anyone wants to work on that with me, but I don't think we should let another 6 months go by without making some progress on this.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Kelly. And with that said, I can't not vote for this, knowing that we haven't had that group.
Right, like
Yeah,
I'm drawn.
We need the
I'm
group.
torn on that.
Yeah, exactly. So
Like, it's
with
not
that
enough
said,
for
I
me to
think that
vote
needs to be a
against it,
Right.
but I can't keep like.
kicking the can
Yeah,
down the road,
exactly.
right?
Like, I do want to make sure that that we do something.
And what about the fact of separating the solar from the battery?
Right, I mean, that was something it was just battery last time, right?
I thought it was
It's been
both,
battery and solar.
but we talked about,
Since December, it's been battery and solar.
Was that, what you say?
It's been battery and solar since the initial introduction, December of 2020. Correct.
Oh, but one of our speakers was just talking about battery, I think, in December, yeah, that's, I think where I got that.
So you make a motion at table?
no,
No, I'm just saying that, I'm just gonna say that I think we should work on it, so, yeah, and I'm gonna I'll vote in support of it, but I don't wanna see it
Well, it's up
again in
to,
6
it's up,
months.
just like any other moratoriums we've ever done, it's up to a certain point, but we can always end it
That's
early
correct.
if we do it sooner.
That's correct.
Right,
So
that's what we were
it
told last
doesn't have to go to 6 months. Okay.
it's contingent upon getting a core group of people together and
We're
figuring it out.
assuming that nothing has been done, but there has been a lot of information gathered.
Sure.
and We expect that within the next 6 month period, it should be settled.
Great.
I mean, it's not an assumption, we haven't been told anything, so.
It will be presented.
Call the roll.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Ordinance F of 2026 to be known as ordinance number 6 of 2026 if adopted. An ordinance modifying chapter 250 of the Amsterdam City Code by Alderwoman Quistamars and Alderwoman Collins.
I think you probably just read the legislative intent. And then it's just introduced, and what we'll call a public hearing for 555 before the June?
Yep, June 2nd at 5:55.
Perfect.
Gotcha.
Thank you very much.
And just read the legislative.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. By way of background, a review of chapter 250 of the Amsterdam contains several instances of antiquated content-based signage regulations. The legislative intention of the instant ordinance is to modify chapter 250 as set forth in part 2 below, so as to remove content-based regulations and to modify certain terms and definitions within chapter 250.
Great.
Any other business? Motion to adjourn?
Motion to the, adjourn the meeting. Call the roll.
Alderwoman Collins. Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marcello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Thank you very much, you did a great job.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the last meeting
Yes.
said there hadn't been any meetings, so.
Wasn't so bad, a lot of reading.
I know.
So, I mean,
I had my water, but I wanted to
I
take
worked
it.
you on that one.
That's okay.
I'm not, but I, no, I'm just saying like,
Hey,
I was told I'm assuming nothing happened, but that's what
You
we
guys
were
said
told
the
last time that nothing happened, so
I'm not
that's where my
opposed- I'm not
assumption.
opposed
I was gonna call you.
to it.
Thank you.